Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this because today we're focusing on one of the most profound, emotionally charged moments of reunion and patience in recorded history. We're looking at a story that spans decades, literally crossing deserts, enduring prisons, and ultimately landing in a grand royal palace. It's a narrative that teaches us about human endurance, the unwavering bonds of family, and the ultimate fulfillment of a childhood vision. Today, we're unpacking the beautiful reunion of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, with his family in Egypt. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when a childhood dream takes an entire lifetime of hardship, betrayal, and separation to finally come true? I mean, imagine holding on to a single glimmer of hope, just one vision from your youth, while literally everything else in your life seems to be falling apart. How do you maintain your faith? How do you even keep moving forward? That is the foundational question of our explainer today. We're going to see exactly how this kind of immense, lifelong patience pays off, setting off on a historical journey that's going to leave you completely inspired. Kicking things off with Section 1, the journey from Canaan to Egypt. Now, back in Canaan, a miraculous joy has just swept through the household. Prophet Yaqub, peace be upon him, who had actually lost his sight from years of weeping and grieving for his beloved son, has had his vision miraculously restored. The darkness of all that immense grief has finally lifted. And, with his sight restored, the time has finally come for a massive transition. The entire family, Prophet Yaqub, his wife, all his sons, they pack their belongings. They're leaving the only lands they've known to embark on this monumental journey toward Egypt, toward a son and a brother they honestly thought was lost forever. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive shift taking place in our story. On one side, we have Canaan. For this family, Canaan really represents the past. It's decades of agonizing waiting, unresolved grief, but also, finally, of restored sight and renewed hope. On the flip side, we have Egypt. Egypt represents their future. It's the ultimate reunion, elevated status, and a royal destiny. This geographical journey they're taking, it's perfectly mirroring their emotional journey, traveling out of a long, dark period of waiting and stepping directly into a bright, joyous future. Moving on to Section 2, reception in the Egyptian palace. So as they complete this grueling journey, the environment just completely changes. Imagine the dust of the desert giving way to the towering, magnificent architecture of ancient Egypt. The family isn't just walking into a new city, they're walking into the epicenter of global power at the time. And an extraordinary grand reception has been meticulously prepared just for them right outside the royal palace. Let's walk through the steps of this grand arrival because the visuals here are just stunning. First, the family enters those towering palace gates. Second, their eyes fall upon Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. But he is no longer the young boy in the well. He's not the forgotten prisoner. He stands before them in breathtaking royal attire, radiating absolute dignity, power, and grace. He came out specifically to welcome his mother and father. And third, amidst all this overwhelming majesty, he speaks his initial words of welcome to his family. Now, what's really interesting about this is what he actually says. Respected father, you are welcome. Allah has made his promise true. Think about that. In the absolute height of his worldly power, surrounded by royal guards and unimaginable wealth, Prophet Yusuf's first instinct isn't to boast about his success or, his resilience. His very first words humbly and immediately attribute this massive success and this beautiful reunion directly to Allah's promise. He frames this entire grand moment not as a personal victory, but entirely as a divine fulfillment. Which brings us to the emotional and spiritual climax of our explainer. Section 3, the moment the dream fulfilled. Everything that's happened in this story, every single tear shed, every hardship endured, has been leading up to the moment that's about to unfold inside these palace walls. The family steps fully into the royal court, and a scene plays out that connects the present reality perfectly to a childhood vision from decades past, the number 11. As the family stands inside the grand hall, Prophet Yusuf sees his parents and his 11 brothers standing before him. Struck by his immense majesty, his kindness, and just the sheer awe of the moment, his parents and his 11 brothers all bow their heads. They lower themselves in deep respect and profound gratitude to Allah. And in this exact moment, as the 11 brothers and the parents bow, the visual is complete. It is the exact, literal manifestation of the dream Prophet Yusuf had as a young boy. The sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowing to him. No way you can't get chills from that, right? Let's just pause for a second and truly take in the gravity of what he says next. "Oh, my father, this is the interpretation of my dream from childhood. My Lord has made it true. He favored me, took me out of prison, and brought you from the desert to me." Just feel the emotion in those words. He connects the innocent dream of a child to the complex, incredibly painful reality of an adult. He acknowledges the prison. He acknowledges the desert. He recognizes every agonizing step of the journey as a divine favor that led them to this exact, beautiful moment of unity.
Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds, because seeing it laid out like this is just staggering. Step 1, the childhood dream, a totally innocent vision. Step 2, the well and the prison. We're talking years of literal darkness, isolation, and false accusations. Step 3, rising to become the ruler of Egypt, managing a national crisis and saving a whole nation. And finally, step 4, the reunion. Just look at the immense gap between step 1 and step 4. The time, the heartbreak, and the sheer hardship that bridge the initial vision and its realization is fast. Yet the circle perfectly closes.
Which naturally leads us to the most important takeaways of this historical event. Section 4, Patience and Divine Wisdom. You see, this isn't just a story about a family getting back together. It is a masterclass in how to navigate the deepest, darkest trials of human existence. From the events in the Egyptian palace, we can extract some truly universal themes about what it actually means to endure. Think about the embrace between Prophet Yaqub and Prophet Yusuf. When they finally hugged, a profound transformation occurred. Years, literally decades, of agonizing sorrow instantly turned into absolute, unadulterated joy. All the bitterness, the betrayal of the brothers, the hardships of the prison, the harshness of the desert, it was all wiped away in a single moment of connection. It teaches us that when relief finally comes, it has the power to completely wash away the pain of the past.
So the crucial point is perfectly captured by Prophet Yaqub, peace be upon him, when he says, "Son, Allah's wisdom is very deep. He never leaves those who are patient alone." Why does this matter to you and me? Well, because it's an enduring blueprint for our own lives. When we're in the middle of our own struggles, it's honestly impossible to see the whole picture. But this quote reminds us that there is a deep, underlying wisdom at play, and that those who hold on to patience are never, ever abandoned.
And that requires us to understand what patience actually is. Sabr is not just passively waiting around for time to pass. It is holding firm during years of profound hardship and sorrow. It's maintaining unwavering trust in divine wisdom without losing hope. I want you to reflect on your own life for a second. When you face trials, are you just waiting? Or are you actively trusting? Because true patience is an active, fiercely resilient state of the heart. Bringing us to Section 5, the beginning of a new life. After the tears, the apologies, and the overwhelming realization of the dream, a deep peace settles over the family. The drama, the separation, and the intense trials have finally concluded. The family from Canaan is fully reunited in Egypt. They've left the harsh trials of the desert and the pain of separation firmly in the past. Together, under the protection and care of Prophet Yusuf in Egypt, they mark the start of a peaceful, harmonious new chapter. It is a beautiful, well-deserved rest after a lifetime of testing. Let's just pause here for a second to really let this sink in. A years-long dream finally came true. After all of the impossible odds, the setbacks, the heartache, the dream became reality. The vision was realized. Which leaves us with this final thought to carry with us. When the wait in your own life is incredibly long, when you are in your own version of the desert or the prison, will your patience hold firm until the dream comes true? I really hope the incredible story we explored today inspires you to hold on, trust the process, and never lose sight of hope. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.